Hello, in this tutorial, we'll set up this dashboard together. We'll need three things. First, we need this server plugin jar. And then we need Prometheus. Prometheus is a time series database and monitoring system. Last but not least, we need Grafana. It's the dashboard. Let's begin. We'll go through all the details together. We'll start with plugins part. You can drag in this jar file here under the plugins folder, and then you should generate this config after you have started your server. And let's see all the configs. We have host and port, and we have some configurations for Redis. So if you are using Redis Bungee, then you can enable those options here. We can see the endpoints for Prometheus matrix is available now. Let's go to that route, and we can gather all those metrics here. If you're able to see this page, then let's move on to next step. Otherwise, you have to, for example, maybe change the host name or the port. Okay, let's move on to Prometheus. We want to add this job to this script manager. We'll set the interval to 5 seconds and we'll use localhost and this port. But since I'm using Docker Compose, my unique IP is this, and my port number is unchanged. Okay. That's all for Prometheus. If you have multiple targets, you can do this to add multiple Bungeecord instances to this script manager. And that's all you need. Let's move on to Grafana. Here we are. Last step. We are visualizing the dashboard using Grafana. Now we could use our pre-made dashboard. What we want to do is import it, and we can go to dashboard here, and we will use this default Bungie dashboard. We can just load it up and then import it. There it is, and everything showed up. And since we have configured two proxies, so we can switch between two proxies. And you can see the difference. One's using 1.2 gigabytes of RAM, other one's using roughly 2 gigabytes of RAM. Both has 0 users and 0 events. Now what do? We can ping those servers once. Now one of the servers should receive the traffic because I'm using a load balancer and it's gonna distribute the traffics to one of the instance. Is it proxy 1 and proxy 2? So we set the script interval to 5 seconds, so we have to wait for 5 seconds to see the results. If you want it to be more responsive, you can set it to like 1 second or even less. But I wouldn't recommend it though. 5 seconds is good enough for me. And you can see proxy 1 received 1 traffic, 1 hit. And if we refresh it again, the traffic should go to proxy 2, and proxy 1 should have 0 events after 5 seconds. See, it dropped to 0, and then this one will have 1 traffic. Now, so what do you do if you have Redis Bungee? Well, you want to enable these matrix, and then there's a different dashboard you can use for Redis Bungee. and I'll show you here. As you can see, it looks a little different. That's because um, Red Spongy has more information that can be that's more insightful. For example, he has 2 servers and 2 proxies, and yeah. After we ping it, the serverless pin should increase, as well as the client connects. If you run it for like multiple hours, then the graph will look like very different. Um, yeah, I think 1 hour is good enough. Since this is a local deployment, we don't have any users. So in order to make the dashboard more interesting, we'll use bots. And we have a stress tester here. Load it up. And we'll change this to 500 milliseconds. Looks good to me. Fire it up. Okay, it's moving something. Whoa, what happened? And then you'll realize the bots are in lobby, and there's like a 30 or I mean 13 player connects, logins, and pre-logins. After you disconnect them, it will show that like there's like player disconnects. This is very insightful because you can see the serverless pins, which is the refresh. This is a serverless pin, and it's different than player pre-logins, player post-logins, and player disconnects. These are the online players. We'll do more bots, maybe 900 of them. Actually, we can do multiple instances of this. We'll like stress test these instances. Um, Change the delay a little bit, maybe. I think the reason why you're seeing these disconnects is because there's like internal throttling going on. Since they're all connecting from my local IP and there's like a rate limiter going on, but like still some of the bots are able to go through. You can see there's more threads, and the RAM is going down. Well, the free RAM is going down, but the allocated or used memory is increasing. Feel free to contribute to this dashboard.